Hey, so in this month's blog, I'm doing a deep dive into a subject that often stirs up anxiety and questions for and concerns from tutors and teachers, and even parents sometimes as well. And it's the ongoing debate between one-to-one tuition versus group tuition. So we've all heard those common objections, haven't we, from parents, from all the naysayers as well. You're there as this tutor, you're shifting away from one-to-one, you want to start your group tuition program and you're hearing, but isn't one-to-one better value? Like, is one-to-one not the most efficient choice? Isn't it more personalised for kids? Surely one-to-one is a superior choice, right? We don't like hearing these things when we want to transition towards a group program. So if you've ever pondered these questions yourself, or you've struggled to articulate the advantages and the benefits of group programs, even to yourself, you're gonna struggle to communicate those to the parents, okay? So listen and stay with me because you're in for a treat. We are actually now going to dispel the top 5/6, I couldn't narrow it down to 5, the top 6 myths and misconceptions that we often get asked here at the 2 Hour Tutor, and I'm going to shed some light on the true potential of group tuition so that you can effectively communicate this to your clients. But let's be clear, not all group tuitions are created equal. We understand that some people might be running group programs where it literally is just a Zoom session with a multitude of kids, and it's really generic, and this can understandably raise concerns. So if your group program is along those lines, then this might also shed light on some of the things that are missing, which if you implemented well, you would be able to really speak about the value of your program with more confidence. So if your program is meticulously crafted and effectively communicated to our ideal clients, then group programs can absolutely be a game changer. So let's dive into 6 of the most common myths and FAQs we hear here at the 2 Hour Tutor, and let's get those busted. So number 1, isn't one-to-one tuition more personalised? People ask. So the answer to this is, while one-to-one tuition can provide individual attention, it can actually lead to an over-reliance on the weekly meetings with you as the tutor and ultimately slow progress. Group tuition, however, when structured well, is built with 3 core pillars. So the 3 core pillars we use at the 2 Hour Tutor program are, number 1, self-study. So students should be able to access your curriculum as a pre-recorded course in the form of video content, meaning that the valuable lesson time they have with you in Zoom is not wasted and is far more productive. So they can get ahead and start watching those videos, and you're not repeating yourself over and over and over like a robot. The second core component is one-to-one feedback. Now this does not mean you jumping on a 1-hour Zoom every week with all of your students. No, that's completely the opposite of what you want. But what we do want is for your students to be able to reach out to you between their lessons if they don't understand something. So they've watched your video, they've had the chance to watch it a couple of times, they are still stuck, and they want to reach out to you before the lesson to say, hey, you know, I'm a bit stuck here, can you give me a bit more of an explanation or a bit more of a nudge? And this can be done using efficient tools such as screen recording. There's loads of softwares you can use for that, voice notes, or a messaging function, so that you can help your students make progress in between sessions, which is something that's often lacking in one-to-one tuition standard setups. The third core component is group learning. You know what that is now, and that is really like the cherry on the cake. It's not the only thing going on. This is where that's where the misconceptions come from. They think, is this just going to be a generic Zoom session with a load of kids? No, this is like, this is a container for them to really share their perspectives on the learning that you've already provided for them using your videos, and to go deeper with you as their tutor, meaning that progress is made faster. So no more over-reliance on you as a tutor for one-to-one sessions forevermore, without any sort of end in sight. We don't want that. So one-to-one tuition, on the other hand, lacks these 3 elements, and all the focus is in the allocated lesson time, which can be inefficient, and also it can be stressful, which brings me on to the next one. So next FAQ, my child is already resistant to having a tutor. Won't a group setting make it worse? In fact, the reverse can often be true. The intense focus required for one-to-one tuition can be stressful for both you as the tutor, you know what that's like, and also for the student. Additionally, the gap between those sessions is typically quite long. 7 days is a long time. Throw in a few holidays and a few COVID bugs and whatever else on top of that, and you're often going to go 2 to 3 weeks without seeing your student, and that loss of retention and information means it's really inefficient. Okay, so on to my next one. Number three, why is group learning better for children? That's just a simple question. Sometimes it's hard to articulate that. So children and even adults often thrive when they're among their peers, as they can relate to and they can learn from each other. Group learning fosters interaction, which keeps our brains awake. So we're actually taking on board what we're hearing, what we're learning. Collaboration, which helps us to go deeper. Socialization, which just keeps us, as human beings, we need contact. We need to feel normalised by people around us, people on the same journey as us. This allows for more opportunities to engage in enjoyable activities, which can't really be done one-to-one. So like games, switching things up with breakout rooms even. And this has all been proven to really enhance and facilitate an accelerated learning experience. Okay, so how does group learning work? Well, as I said, group programs are not made equal, but the 2 Hour Tutor, our courses are designed, so we help you and tutors design their courses to combine group learning with individualised attention. So your students, as I said, will access videos weekly, taking ownership of their learning, preparing for the group sessions, and also with a direct line of communication between you and them so that they can reach out to you with questions. This way, progress can be made individually and as part of the group learning experience, meaning much more progress is made week on week when compared to the standard one-to-one tuition model, where progress can often be slowed down by all the logistics, the manual kind of element of that. So this brings me on to the next one, which is number 4. What is one-to-one tuition actually better value than a group program? So in my opinion, when crafted correctly, yes, it is. It's a common misconception that one-to-one tuition offers better value than a group program, in my opinion. In reality, one-to-one tuition fees can range from £30 to £50 per hour, even more depending on the specialisation. So if you consider having these sessions every week for your child for an indefinite period, because there's no end game, it's just we'll keep going until, that could be an entire academic year or more if this is an exam, if it's a 2-year exam like GCSE or A-level. So this can add up to over £2,000 over the course of time. And this doesn't include things like maybe travel expenses if it's face-to-face, or the hidden costs of this lack of retention between sessions. On the other hand, a well-crafted group programme with a specialised teacher who's aced their process, because that's all they do over and over again, typically ranges, if you work with me, we'd be looking at pricing your programme between £400 and £800 for the whole sort of 12, maybe 8 to 12 or maybe 16 weeks experience. This offers not only cost savings to your clients, but also saves loads of time. So in just 12 weeks, perhaps, children or young adults that you work with can overcome their challenges and get back to excelling in their studies and crack on with their hobbies and their lives, because they don't want an hour a week to see their tutor indefinitely. Okay, so on to my final one. We're almost done, folks. So isn't face-to-face learning better than online learning? So this is one thing sometimes parents think, my kid is on a screen enough, and I get that. I've got 3 kids and screens can sometimes be the bane of our lives. But they're also, when used in a good way, they're brilliant. So while face-to-face learning does have a lot of benefits, the physical presence, the advantages of online learning, I have found with my kids as well, really outweigh the drawbacks. So firstly, as a parent, you eliminate the need for drive. So this brings me on to the last one. Isn't face-to-face learning better than online learning? So while face-to-face learning may have some benefits like, the physical presence, in my experience, I've got 3 kids and screens can absolutely be the bane of my life at times. The advantages of online learning really outweigh the drawbacks. So firstly, as a parent, you eliminate the need for driving time and all those arguments about get your shoes on, or you can't go like that, there's toothpaste on your top, whatever, all of that stuff. It just eliminates all of that. So it's just a really stress-free experience for parents. And as a parent, you've got enough on your plate. You might have other kids, and actually having to bundle them all in the car to take one child to their lesson can be kind of soul destroying. Your child can then comfortably have their lessons at home. You don't have to disrupt everyone's routine because of one child's activity. And you can even be in the same room as them if you want it, or nearby, so that you can sort of earwig and just make sure that they're engaged and supported if need be. They can be sitting there in their Oodie, in their PJ bottoms with their comforts around them. And moreover, online learning offers flexibility in scheduling. So it removes all those geographical barriers. And, you could have an amazing tutor that, you love. And then let's say you have to move house you have to lose the tutor, but when it's online, that's not the case. I know that's like a bit of a far-fetched scenario, but it happens. So, it provides access to a wider pool of expert tutors, expanding the options available to your child. So, in my opinion, the online format does not have to compromise the quality of education. So, okay, folks, those are my 6 main FAQs, the main myths that we get asked quite often here at the 2-Hour Tutor. So these are the sort of questions that my clients often get asked, and they ask me, Ellie, I keep getting people saying, but isn't one-to-one the best way? And this is how we approach it, by educating our audience. So as educators, it is our duty to educate our audience on the merits of well-designed group tuition programs. So only then can people truly appreciate the differences. So many parents haven't experienced a well-crafted group program, and they've got these, the idea of a group program conjures these ideas of, mismanaged, groups full of kids. And it's our task, therefore, to explain why this isn't just the best and most fun option for their child, but also the most efficient and cost-effective one in the long run. So if you found it challenging to convey these benefits to potential parents, or if you're a teacher that's contemplating a transition into a group tuition program, but you need more support and clarity, you're in the right place. So we are currently putting together a wait list for teachers like you who may want to create a program just like this to make sure that you are making the most of your skill set, working in your zone of genius as a teacher, doing the thing that you love the most, serving as many students as you want to, but not in exchange for all of your time and your whole life. We want to help you get the balance right between time input and money output, whilst also making a really ethical contribution to education. So if this sounds good to you, just check out the link below and you can join our waitlist, okay? And we'll give you more information then. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye.